I feel so lonesome. Can't you hear me when I'm on? Well, I feel so lonesome. Can't you hear me when I'm on? Who's been writing my Terraplane for you, mama? Woo, since you've been gone. Hi, my name's Eddie Martin. We're looking at Robert Johnson's Terraplane Blues in this little tuition video I'm doing for you today. The great Robert Johnson, great singer, great songwriter, great slide guitarist, great picker, died tragically at the age of 27. 2 main recording sessions from San Antonio and Dallas, and he did a couple of takes of most of his songs. This is a great song. It's a 12-bar blues. It's in the key of, well, he's got his guitar tuned to open A, but he's got a capo on the first fret, so it's in B flat. I'm going to take you through the whole song now, quickly. So the tuning, E, A, going up for the bottom strings, C sharp, and E on the top. Put the capo on the first fret. When I talk about fret positions, I'm taking the capo as naught. So if I'm going 3 frets up from the capo, I'm going to say fret 3 and 5 here so far. So take the capo as naught. So he starts off with this slide pattern. Robert Johnson's a very sophisticated slide guitarist. He damps with the left hand, so his fingers follow up behind the slide. He also damps with the right hand, so when he plays this introductory pattern, which is 3 hits up, going from 11 to 12, sliding up, he's damping with the right hand in that he's using the palm of the right hand to damp to get a punchy sound each time. I'm exaggerating there so you see what's going on. The style of accompaniment that Robert Johnson is using on this one suggests that he's not using a thumb pick here, he's using his fingers. He gets a variety of strumming sounds from both the thumb and the index finger, using it like a plectrum. He also combines a lot of trebly sounding parts, where he quite often gets a punchy percussive sound by damping with the fleshy part of the right hand. And then he alternates that with bassy phrases, percussive bassy phrases like this. I hear quite a lot of bubbly-bump on this track, and it's led me to believe that he's using a Spanish guitar technique called the rasgueado. It's the only sort of roll technique that produces that bubbly bump sound, and it comes from using this technique. You learn to do a fan across the strings with your little finger first, third finger, second finger, first finger. So that's how you start, and then the first finger comes back. That's a rasgueado. It's called a rasgueado abonido, which means a fan strum in Spanish. So that's building up some speed. Robert Johnson plays it very fast. Robert Johnson gets this sort of sound going on. You can hear a bass tune. Ba, 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 ba. Now if you put your third finger on the third fret of the bottom string while you're doing that hand fan, you get the sort of sound that Robert Johnson had there. So that's probably what's going on. The rest of the time he's got this open G strumming technique where he's using the index finger. He's fretting on the 5th fret of the top string and the 3rd fret of the top string, and get little tunes going on in his strumming pattern. That's a common one. All done with the index finger coming across the strings from the top down. So you get that explosive trebly sound at the top. And then he counterpoints that with a percussive bassy part. So let's go back to the introduction. So we've got 3 hits up from 11 to 12 on the top 3 strings with the slide, using the damp techniques I told you before. Then he does this. So that's slide 2 from fret 2 to fret 3 are both of the top strings, with using the slide to press down on those. So you're moving up from 2 to 3 for the first one, and then the second one you're going up and coming back down again, and then doing open. Put it all together. The next part is a. This sounds okay, strummed with the thumb for a nice bassy sound, or with using the finger as a plectrum. I think Robert Johnson could be doing either of those there. And then that happens just once, that bit. That's 3, 2, 0 on the 4th string. So you're fretting only on the 4th string while you're doing that little pattern. Okay, no slide action at all, just playing the bottom strings. Actually, the 5th, 4th, and 3rd string for that part. Then Robert Johnson plays the familiar riff that happens all the way through the song. Before commencing the verse. So that pattern. He's got several different versions of it, but it's around that bass point of the 5th fret on the top string with a chord, or the 3rd fret on the top string with a chord. Percussive punchy chords, because he's using this damping technique with the right hand palm. So let's go through the song. A little rasguiado there. Then the verse commences. Well, I feel so lonesome. What he's doing there, he's doing a G7 shape. He's doing that treble string brush across the strings with the index finger again. 3rd fret on the top 2 strings. And then he does, he keeps the 3rd fret on the 2nd string fretted, but this time he moves the top string down from 3rd fret to 2nd fret for a little tune which goes. For the answering phrase to that, it sounds like Robert Johnson's using his foot to keep the pace, and he just does a simple bass line. You can also put another rasguiado in there if you wanted to. He does that later on in the song, but just a simple bass note answering phrase or answering hit. Well, I feel so lonesome. The next part of the song, he goes to the 4 chord, because this is a 12-bar blues. You can hear the 12-bar structure in this song, even though he doesn't always play the 1-4-5 chord structure. In fact, here we've got the 4 chord part of the 12-bar, but he's playing only 2 strings of that 4 chord, in that he is now moving up his index finger as a barre across the top 2 strings on the 5th fret. So that would be the 4 chord. he's doing this little figure. So the treble part there, once again, he's going across the strings with his index finger to get that punchy treble little riff going on there. And the above the 5th fret, bar A, he's playing this. 8, 5, 7, 5, 8. Put it all together. 8, 5, 7, 5, 8. And I'm just using the fleshy part of my index finger tip to play that. Nice and staccato, once again damping with the fleshy part of the right hand afterwards. You can answer it with a raschiato again, or just with a hit. He does different versions of that answering bass line response during the song. But for the first verse, he goes. And then it's back into the. Finally, we come around to the 5 chord part of the song in the 12-bar structure. He doesn't do a 5 chord at all. He does a slide figure instead, and the slide figure is sliding from the 3rd to the 5th fret on the 4th string. Robert Johnson's great slide guitar technique means that is nice and clear and loud and sustaining that note, that single note. His slide technique, I'm hearing him use his index finger to pluck that. He's using the other fingers to damp the other strings so that you don't get a lot of noise when the slide is doing its work. So for example, the thumb of the right hand is resting on the 5th string. The index finger is hitting that 4th string. But if you use your other fingers of your right hand, the 2nd and 3rd fingers in particular, to damp the 3rd and 2nd strings, when you play that slide figure, you don't get lots of horrible noise happening. He's also damping, as I said, with the left hand, in that he's following behind the slide with fingers resting on the strings to damp all the sound down that could otherwise come out from the left hand side of the guitar. He's got a very long vibrato there. That long vibrato only comes from keeping your left arm and hand quite loose and relaxed so that you can keep that vibrato going. Well, that's the first verse of Terraplane Blues. I hope you enjoy that and can get your head around that and practice those skills. And I will see you in the next tuition video. Bye for now. Happy playing.